Hello, hello, hello. This is Dr. Yvonne, your host for Teacher Talk Tuesday. I am coming to you today because I'm just, our first grading system, we had our first grading period, not system, and it was a disaster to say the least. It's really difficult when students get grades that they don't deserve because of a new program and a new system. The worst time to implement a new grading system is for the first grading period of a new year. We, when you switch up programs, you have to get the proper training on the program in order to make sure that everything is running correctly. And it has just been a disaster. This first grading period, I actually, oh, that's so much better. I actually had we had to do grades, and I did grades, and I put the grades in for the first 3 weeks, and everything seemed to be fine. And when we had to do the final grades for the first 6 weeks, none of the grades saved. And the balances came out really, really, really weird and really, really bad. I had one student who, oh my goodness, this student is a student. Mind you, she has done everything, gotten the most points on everything that she's turned in. And when she got her report card, the baby had a 78%. And I'm like, that can't be. I mean, that's not what I put into the system. So how did that happen? And it took me back to when I was in Colorado and we had a grading system. We had a new system. And the way the grades worked, you had to merge the first set of grades with the second half of the period in order to get a final grade. And if that was not calculated and balanced right and the formulas weren't put in correctly in the program, the grades didn't come out correctly. So when I was doing grades and I had students emailing me and calling me and telling me my grade is low, what can I do to bring my grade up? And I'm thinking maybe your grade shouldn't be low. What is the problem? So I go back in and try to check my grades. Well, I can't see the grade. I can't see the grade that my students have. I pull up her report card and I'm looking, I'm like, whoa, where did that grade come from? And I tried to go back into the system to look at it, and I was told I couldn't change it because everything was locked. And the only way I could change that grade is if I went in and manually, by hand, averaged out all of the students' grades whose grades were wrong. And I was like, okay, cool, no problem. I'll go ahead and do that. Well, when I went into the system and I looked, it wasn't just a couple of students, it was all of our students. And I'm like, that's over 100 kids with two classes. I'm not going to do all of this by hand and calculate it and then send you a list of students whose grades need to change. I'm like, it's got to be a better way. Well, nope, I was told that was what I had to do. So I had parents who were upset, and rightfully so, because it looks like their child is failing my class and only my class. Now, I've already had issues with admin and dealing with me. So now it's like, okay, Jesus, one more thing that I got to deal with that these people going to have to say something about. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, what can I do to fix this? And when I realized there was nothing I could really do, I just started. I just told the kids the truth. I told them that there was nothing I could do. It's not my problem. I didn't have it. It wasn't me. It wasn't anything I did. It wasn't anything I inputted. And then when I got messages from other teachers who were talking in the hallway. I had one teacher. She came out and she was like, "Oh my God, the grade book! My whole grade book is a hot mess. It's just crazy. It's not acting right." I'm like, "Okay, that's another one." Had another teacher say, "I went and looked at my grades and my grades didn't even save. I thought it was just me." And when I went to admin, it was told to me that that's what you get for putting your grades in at the last minute. I'm sorry. Um, that wasn't the case, especially after I found out that other people were having issues. And my question is, are grades important? Are grades even important anymore in this day and age in this society? And if they are important, who's grading who? Because when I look at the grades and the system and the way things are going right now, it doesn't seem like grades are important. The way they want us to grade the students, the way they want us to put things in, it's like the grades are not important. You just want me to give people grades to pass people on. And you're talking about bridging gaps. How are we bridging gaps when we're not holding kids accountable? I'm gonna take this off because the glare is just messing up. We have to hold students accountable for not doing work. Mind you, we have a policy that all grades, all work has to be done by midnight on the day that it's given. Okay, I can get with it. It changes every day. We're told to set deadlines of when work is due. We set the deadlines. Then, when it came time for grades to be done, they told us to release the deadlines and allow the students to make up the work. But then you jump on me and talk about putting my grades in at the last minute. Or when I have students doing work at the last minute and you allow it and you give them that opportunity to do work at the last minute, I'm going to be inputting grades at the last minute. We have got to stick to a system that is going to work, not only for the teachers, but for the students. Okay, we have to have in 2 grades a week for every subject, for every student. But if students remotely do not show up, hear me now, hear me well. This is the procedure. If students do not show up remotely into the classroom or show up because we're online now. We're online and we're in the building. So if students, I'm teaching both. I'm teaching virtually and I'm teaching in the classroom, which is really all virtual because the students in the classroom are still on their computers getting the lesson via the internet because of the other students who are still remote. So why are you in the classroom? I get it. Social procedures. People, can't stay at home with their kids. They need someplace for them to go. I get it. But there's still no instruction, hands on. I can't go to, I mean, I do because I can't see a student struggling and I can't get to them and show them what's going on. I've had more success with helping my kids in the classroom who are there physically than I've had success with the students who are online. Now, mind you, back to the grades. 2 grades a week for every subject. Not a problem. I don't have a problem with that. But what I have a problem with is that if I give them a cutoff date or a cutoff time to get their work done, and then that's not adhered to, because now I'm being told that even if they don't show up in your class remotely, if they don't come into the classroom, they have 48 hours to go in and finish your assignments. If they come in and finish your assignments, you have to grade them, and then you have to go back into the attendance and count them as present for the day that they missed if they did the work. That's a lot of work. I was doing that and I wasn't getting my grades in on time because I'm waiting for people to get stuff done. It's really hard to grade something, move away from it, and move on to the next thing. And then 2 weeks later, I got to go back and see, oh, let me go see if Johnny came in and finished this assignment. Let me go back in here and see if anyone came in and finished this assignment. I'm backtracking all day, every day, backtracking. Then I was told you can't give them a 0. We can't fail these kids. You have to give them an opportunity to do the work, but you want 2 grades in every week. So how am I supposed to get 2 grades in every week if students are not coming in and doing the work? If those students are never showing up in my class remotely, if they've never showed up on campus, and now that we've already started, we're into the second week of this next 6 weeks. They have to wait for another 6 weeks before they can even come to the building. So you're not even coming into the classroom, but you're telling me I can't give them a 0. I can't fail them, but you're not showing up. My thing is at the October count, they should have been dropped if they had never shown up. I still have students on my roster who have not shown up since the first day of school. We are about to enter into November. So our grades important. I'm giving you grades based on stuff. And then if you're not coming in and getting the lesson, how are you finishing the assignment appropriately? If you don't need me to teach you, then why am I there? If you could just go into my class and go into my assignments and complete my assignments without any instruction and get hundreds on them and pass it, why am I there? But I have students who come in into my class who don't come into my classroom, go into the assignment part, do the assignments, fail the assignments, but you're telling me I can't fail them. So are grades important? What is the purpose of me sitting up teaching and giving you assignments and giving you work and making you accountable if it's not going to count? Oh, I'm sorry. All we worried about is them passing star. Well, guess what? If you never come into the classroom and you never get a lesson and you never get taught and you can't pass any of my assignments on your own, you are not going to pass the star exam. Newsflash, it's not going to happen. But yet, when students are not passing, then it's brought to me. I have a couple of students, well, I have more than a couple. I have one class where half of the students have never shown up. But I was asked, well, what are you doing to get them into the classroom? I'm sorry, what am I supposed to do? Explain that to me exactly. What is it I'm supposed to do to get them into the classroom? It's remote. You took away our office hours, so I can't go in and call parents. During my planning time, I'm in meetings on more programs that you want to implement, and I can't call parents. I can't work with students. After school, I have after school duty. So it's not like you have after school programs or after school tutoring that's going to help kids. I teach literally from 8:30 to 11:30, and then I go to lunch. And then I teach again from 12:08 until 2 o'clock. And then I'm in meetings from 2:02 or 2:05 until 3. And then I have class from 3 to 4. And then I'm outside doing duty. When am I supposed to have time to call and check on students who aren't there? If I'm not mistaken, when I was in Illinois, that's what the truancy officer was for. So now you want me to be a teacher, a counselor, a reading specialist, a behavioralist, a truancy officer, a discipline dean, a hall monitor, and everything else. What? Come on. Let's focus on what's important. These kids need to be taught. They need to be educated. They need to be learning something. But with these systems that are not operating properly, that are not working, our students are not getting what they need. And it always comes back to the teacher. I was told by an administrator that if all my kids were failing my class, that was a reflection on me. It's something you're not doing. I told him, no, it's not. I used to think that too. I used to think that if my students were failing, it was my fault. But when I look at the state of the educational system today, and I look at what kids are doing and what they're not doing, I have kids who sit in my classroom, who actually sit in my classroom in front of me, and I've noticed that they do not get online to do the work. I can tell you, look, you need to do this. You need to get on. And I'm telling them, when you come into my classroom, you need to log into the hub. You need to do your do now. You need to do your attendance tracker. These are the first things that you need to do when you walk into my classroom. And it's timed. My do now is timed where it's going to time out and then I move on to the next thing. So by the time I come in here and I finish and I'm taking attendance and I'm double checking because now we have to double check the attendance. They have an attendance tracker that the students have to fill out for every class every day, but I still have to go in and take attendance behind the student. I have to take attendance again. Why are we doing all this double work? It's redundant. It's ridiculous. the things that they have us doing. And then you want to know, when am I supposed to have time to grade papers? When am I supposed to have time to call parents? When am I supposed to have time to work one-on-one with students? I had a student that slept in my class yesterday and Friday. I had to talk to him. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pull you aside and have a conversation with you about what's going on in my classroom. Now, my thing is, if students are going to sleep in my classroom, what do you think the ones at home are doing? There are so many times that I log out of a class and the class is over, and I have like 5 students who are still in the class who are on hold or on mute. Why? Because they've gone to sleep or they've gone and done something else. So, are your grades really important? Because it seems to me that if grades were important, you would put more effort into it. If grades were important, you would spend more time paying attention in class to get your work done. If grades were still important, administrators wouldn't just be throwing teachers under the bus because their system didn't work. Let's fix the system and stop throwing teachers under the bus when things don't work. It was a glitch in the system. Something went wrong. Tell the parents the truth. Why are we lying? But then I get called on the carpet. I get in trouble because I'm speaking the truth. I told the parents, look, it was a glitch. I don't know what happened, but I got you. I'm going to start doing stuff by hand and keeping track of my own grades because I don't know what's going on with the system. When I haven't been trained on it, I had, oh, this was a good one. A parent had a complaint about the grades, and they came up and talked to an administrator while I was out. The administrator didn't know how to get into the new program for the grading system to pull up the grade to share with with the parent. The administrator didn't know how to go in and pull it up. And it wasn't just one, it was multiple administrators that didn't know how to work the system. But yet you're expecting the teachers to do it. A system that you all came up with, or the district came up with, that we have not been properly trained on, and you wonder why things are going awry. We have teachers leaving because things are not working properly. They don't want to be there. It's bad when you have teachers who are ready to leave at the beginning of the year. And I can say I've had thoughts. I've had thoughts. There's so many other things that I could be doing, but I'm worried about the kids. It's not the administrators that I'm worried about, it's the kids that I'm worried about. Where is their help going to come from if no one is there to care for them? I gave my students a choice. I told them this week, I'm like, we're going to do things different. I'm not going to give you anything that I am not going to post as a grade. So that means you have to do your best on. Any assignment that I give you, guaranteed a grade. I'm not one to teach to a test. I want to teach you concepts. I want to teach you things for life. One of my students had a little poster on their for their what you call it, their picture when their screen when their camera's not on, that said, um, knowledge is power. And I'm like, that is so beautiful. That's awesome. It's wonderful because knowledge is power. But the problem I have is you all come to school and you give away your power because you don't come in here to learn. You don't come in here to do your work. You playing in the chat room. You're not paying attention in class. You give away your power. Knowledge is power when you know how to use it. Knowledge is power when you have it. Knowledge is power when you constantly feed it. But if you're not doing what you need to do and you're not putting forth that effort to gain more power, to gain more knowledge, you're losing your power. You're giving it away every day. We had too many people die for you to get an education, for you to have that power to be sustainable, to have that power to be productive, to have that power to build your life, for you to give it away. Get the grade. Make sure it lines up with what you're learning. Make sure you're putting forth an effort to do the things that you need to do to be successful. Systems break and crash all the time, but you have to know how to go back to the basics and do what you need to do. We're not supposed to give out paper, but yet the students come in and they don't have their chargers. excuse me, their computers don't charge up. They forget to charge them overnight, and they come in the classroom and their computer die. So now you can't do your work. You've got to have an alternative. I can't just let you sit in my room and not do anything just because your computer's not working. So I'll print you something, come get it off the printer. You got to do your assignment. I'm good. You're not going to just sit here and get away with doing nothing and think that's going to be okay. And I'm just supposed to sit up and wait for you. No, get your grade, earn your grade. I was told that I failed students. No, I didn't fail anyone. You fail yourself when you fail to do your work. I have students that ask me about extra credit. No, I don't do extra credit. I'm not doing extra credit. I'm having a hard enough time trying to grade the stuff that you don't do. And now you want extra credit because you haven't done it and you want to make it up? No. Do what you're supposed to do the first time. Don't just do your work, do it right. Don't just rush through it just so you can turn in something. Do it right. I don't know how many times I've gone into grade papers and grade assignments in the computer for kids who have submitted stuff and it's blank, or you submitted and it was half done. Where do we do that at? Be a part of your own success. Stop allowing other people to dictate what you need to do. We have to come together and we have to do better. We have to do better. If grades are going to count, our kids need these grades to move on to the next level. We've got to stop thinking that it's not important. Your grades are important. It's important. You need to do your work. You have to get your grades. You have to be getting what you need to be able to move to the next level. If you're not passing anything, then that means you're not prepared to go to the next level. You know, every year, every school I've been at, we had to put in preparedness grades or preparedness levels for our students to see where they are. I can't even honestly say that these kids are even semi-prepared to go where they need to go because what you're showing me is not good. So we have to put systems back in order. We have to make sure that the educational system is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing, and that's educating our students. I've been in this game for 22 years, and it seems to be getting worse every year instead of getting better. And we keep wanting to implement more and more programs working, more and more digital things, more and more things in technology. Do this, do that, do this, do that, and it's not working. I've been trained on so many systems and so many programs that they want to be put in place. When am I supposed to teach if I'm so busy filling out paperwork and filling out forms and putting kids into programs that they don't even understand how to use? That's not getting them grades. But then you come in and tell me, oh, you're spending too much time on teaching them how to do this. Well, stop giving me all these programs that I need to train them on, and I won't be spending so much time training on programs. Let me teach. I don't need all these programs to teach. I know what I'm doing. I don't need a program to tell me that these kids don't know what a noun is. I don't need a program to tell me that these students can't write complete sentences, let alone a paragraph or an essay. Oh my God, you should see the stuff that I get. I told them they had to write a paragraph and use at least 6 sentences. They looked at me like I was crazy. It's not that hard. But they're so used to just giving one word answers, text message answers. It's not a text. You have to learn how to write. These things matter. We got to get them back up to speed. Everything is not the way it needs to be. Grades should matter. If I'm up here teaching and I'm giving you work and I'm trying to make sure you get what you need, then I should be able to grade that and figure out if you are actually getting it. I have to keep data. I have to track them to make sure that they're getting mastery. But if they're not passing anything, what kind of data am I going to be collecting? Things are so backwards now. I understand data is important, understanding trends and knowing what the students can and cannot do, but let me teach. I don't need another program to teach me how to teach. And we give them too many programs, the students get burnt out. They get burnt out and don't want to do it. So let's just stop. Stop. Do what's important. Make sure they understand that their work it has to be meaningful in order for them to get a decent grade. It has to be on point in order to get a grade. You can't just throw in any old thing and expect a grade. It's not gonna work. And then where are the parents? Are you even checking their work? Are you even home while they at school? Those students who are sitting at home working. I don't know because most of them aren't doing anything at home. So I'm just praying that this year will turn out better than the way it started because the accountability, everything seems like it's being pushed on the teacher and what the teacher needs to do. But there's some accountability that has to come from the top and has to come from the bottom. Administrators, superintendents, boards, got to be held accountable. We can't keep pushing stuff off and pushing things out and making all of these programs for kids to do. And then we have the kids who are burnt out and don't want to do it or not doing it. Parents not holding them accountable, but the teachers in the middle being sandwiched in the middle of this, and we're being responsible for the kids not making grades, decent grades. Got to be some give and take. It's got to be some give and take. So let's try to get the old system back in there where kids are accountable for doing homework. I can't even get the kids to read for 20 minutes a night and do a reading log and turn it in. That's sad. That's all they want to do is play video games. I had a student ask me, said, well, if I read, can I watch Netflix and read subtitles? Is that reading? I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Is that what we've come to? Kids can't even pick up a book? It's not even close to what we used to be doing. It's not close. But that's my soapbox for tonight. I know I've missed it. I've had a lot to say because I haven't been here in 2 weeks. I haven't done teacher talk. I've just been so burnt out. But I've got to get back in here and talk to you guys because you need to know what's going on. So this has been your host, Dr. Yvonne Henderson with Teacher Talk Tuesday. Please click like, share, subscribe. Let's get some things to start moving. We need to come together and hopefully I can get some guests on here and we can talk about the things that's going on in the educational system. You can also reach me at Teacher Talk Tuesday at gmail.com, and that's Teacher Talk Tuesday with the 2 at gmail.com. All right, I look forward to hearing from you soon. Hit me up, come in and share with me. All right, peace.